anime, and waifus. That's right. Alright guys, let's go ahead and discuss a certain history. Now, there was a game, give me a second. Now, let's all look at this one single franchise. I'm screwing this up. Gun. Next time I'm drawing an actual star. You know, actually, as a matter of fact, I'm going to go ahead and... Yeah. Okay, so... Yeah, here's a star. That's perfect. You can read this right. Okay, so yeah, so this video game franchise we're going to be talking about today is Gun. Okay? Sorry about this. Gun. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead, erase this, and write it off big. Let me use my shirt. Okay. So this is going to be written big. So we could see. Gun. Done. Now we see there? Gun. Okay. Now it's written big. The very first Gun. It was an import-only title. And, yeah, the first one never got localization, unfortunately. It was released for the Xbox 360, and then it was later released for the PlayStation 3. And pretty much the first game was made to take advantage of the motion controls. Now, how Gun operated, it was a light gun or a rail shooter that plays amongst the lines of The House of the Dead, Time Crisis, except I will discuss the concept of the series later. But right now, we're going to be talking about which came first, which came last. So, let's go ahead and go over that. So, it was a rail shooter, where I will discuss the concepts later. Like I said again, I'm going to sound like a broken record here. Let's get off around here. However, Gun gained an audience. It gained its audience for, well, obvious reasons. I know about that. But however, it got successful to where Gun got itself sequels. Yes, that's right. And today I want to go ahead and talk about Gun Double Peace. Double Peace ended up becoming localized by P-Cube, which was the first Gun game to get an English translation and in a localization. It wasn't import only, which was great. Double Peace was made for the PlayStation 4 and the PlayStation Vita, and pretty much Double Peace was then later ported to the PC via Steam, which is where we decide to go ahead and finally take a look at Gun VR. So, Gun VR is essentially Gun in virtual reality with the motion controls. However, Gun VR is supported on Oculus Rift and HTC Vive, and is sitting around here on the Steam VR marketplace. However, there is one more Gun game to be discussed, and ladies and gentlemen, I will go ahead and cover this title. And what is the latest sequel? It came out last year. And, well, I'm not going to fuck up the star this time. It would be called Gun 2, which is what we're going to be looking at for today. Gun 2 was then later made for the PlayStation 4, the Nintendo Switch, so you could play it on the go, and also the PC via Steam. Now, I kind of noticed how the game ended up getting localized faster. Gun was getting a lot of international attention, so of course that was going to happen, so that does make sense. And yeah, there was VR DLC that would be later added to the PC version. However, that was added at the end of 2018. That was when we all started seeing the DLC that's going to add the VR support to it. And however, the interesting part about the VR DLC is that it makes the game fully playable in VR. Gun fans are going to pretty much state this. And I can see where people are going to be coming from. And I have played through Galgun 2, and I have played through Galgun Double Peace. I should be covering Double Peace first, but however, I think I'm going to have to end up operating on a loose order, since I did cover on Galgun VR first on the YouTube channel, so I think we're going to be looking at a very loose order. So, like I said, sincerest of apologies on that there, and I know a lot of people are going to go ahead and say, why are you talking about Galgun? Because next month is February. February is Valentine's Day, and it's a perfect time to talk about that. Actually, this should be... nah, I'll do something bigger for Valentine's Day. Because I know we're talking about... Because Valentine's Day is very easy. We talk about waifus, and just that's done very simplistic. So I'll do more than one thing a waifu. So, yeah. But, however, I do understand where a lot of you do come from a lot of situations around here. And let's just get my ramblings aside. Okay, so I want to go ahead and talk about the premise of Galgun, because I want to get this up front, because the way how Galgun 2 operates very differently. Now, how Galgun 1 and Galgun Double Peace worked was that there was an angel that's been sent by heaven to basically fire a love arrow at you to make you chase love, to make you fall in love with someone. However, something goes horribly wrong, and when you got hit by a love arrow, something happened to where you become irresistible to girls from left and right. So girls would go and chase you from left and right. So an angel goes down, talks to you, who you play as. Alright, so you're going to school minding your own business. You got hit by that love arrow. Oh, you're irresistible girls. Girls want you. You're being chased by girls. You're trying to figure out what the hell's going on. This angel admits her mistake, and this angel says, hey, find true love, or else. So you do get a certain time limit to find love. Okay, so you're keeping girls at bay. How do you do this? How you do? So this angel gives you this Cupid gun. Okay, so you get this Cupid gun. So when you have this Cupid gun, you can fire it at the girls chasing you to satisfy them and keep them at bay. They'll be romantically satisfied. They will be romantically kept at bay till you find the true love, and that's how it works. Now, I'm going to go ahead and pretty much refer to, because I want to discuss how that technology works. Alright, I do want to go ahead and refer from the game's in-game instructions, because, yeah, it just says so in this. The lore is just flashed in your face. The game will go ahead and flash the lore in your face. The gun that you're carrying, the Cupid gun, that's a pheromone shot, and you are firing euphoria at the girls, and you can get like a one-hit takeout that would be called the ecstasy shot, and if you hit them at a certain weak point, they will be romantically satisfied within one hit. I keep calling them you're firing ecstasy at the girls because how you're basically... well, actually, the way how I play the game is that I would be the king of ecstasy shots, or I would end up feeling like the king of ecstasy shots, because I would get like a continuous combo of ecstasy shots from left and right. Galgun 2's story operates highly different, and yeah, I do want to go ahead and talk about that. Now, I do want to go through Galgun 2's story first, then I'll go ahead and talk about the Switch version compared to the PC version, because I own both the PC version and the Nintendo Switch version. The Switch version, so I can play it on the go. Alright, I can't get enough of Galgun, okay? Okay, where Galgun 2's story operates very differently, you don't get hit by any love arrow. You don't have to go and find your true love before the end of the day. You end up getting, instead, handpicked as the the chosen one to carry out a task. And where it also operates differently is that you get a pair of goggles and this weird giant looking thing, which is actually a vacuum. So I guess these little Cupid goggles, you could fire Cupid lasers from your eyes, from what I'm finding out. Okay. Alright. It's kind of different compared to the previous entries. So you eventually put on the goggles. You find an angel companion, Risu. And hey, you are the handpicked, lucky chosen one. You are chosen to carry out the task of finding and dealing with demons once and for all. Take them out. But however, the effects of the goggles are like the effects of the arrow. Girls will chase you from left and right with the goggles on. Interesting. Now, here's where you get a much more bigger time limit compared to the previous entries. Now, you are chosen to meet a demon-busting quota, and you have, like, almost a month to clear it. And when you start the game, you get, like, a morning and an evening cycle. A morning, evening, and then you're at home, ready to go for the next day. But, however, I don't know what happened, but I ended up getting good with the game, doing good, where I start getting a morning, afternoon, and evening, and then sleep time, so you do get, like, extended time. I don't know if it's a New Game Plus thing, or that happens later in the game. I just kind of took notice of that the very minute I was on my third playthrough. Now, that is something very interesting around here, so you do get a bigger amount of time, so you do have plenty of time compared to previous entries. It's not like, oh, you have to do something at the end of the day, you screw up, you get a bad ending. No. Now, you can romance your angel companion Risu, you can romance your neighbor Chiru, and you can pretty much romance your classmate Nanako. Alright. Or you could pretty much just get the normal ending, because you're not getting anything about finding your true love. You're just picked for an assignment to take out demons from left and right. You're chosen by heaven. You are heaven's chosen one to help out Risu in the quest of taking out demons. Where Galgun 2 operates very differently in terms of the pick of love interests. Here's the thing. If you want to get the girl of your choice's affection, well, Chiru, you can just play through the thing normally. You just get a quest later on. Everybody else will tell you about that. Your walkthroughs will tell you that. Risu, you don't need to worry about. As for Chiru and Nanako, your neighbor or your classmate, you can get their affection by giving them a ton of snacks. Now, where these little snack things come in play is that these snacks are your way of winning people over. And pretty much, in previous entries, your dialogue choices matter. They impact how you gain her affection. However, in Galgun 2, gaining their affection is much more easy and streamlined. You just give them sweets and that's just it. Now that's interesting. Okay, so I want to go, before we go ahead and bring into the gameplay, I want to go ahead and bring up and recap these two ultimatums. The biggest amount of time you get in Galgun 2, and the easiest way you get to win a girl's affection by just giving them snacks. These two ultimatums kind of show and give people the feeling that it is like a entry level in the franchise. It is a game where beginners can start in the franchise. And to that point, I do kind of agree. Beginners can dive into Galgun 2 first off. And besides, the stories are very different from each other. Now, there's going to be references to previous entries, of course. But however, each story is pretty much unique from each other. So, that is something. So, Galgun 2 is a beginner-friendly thing. It's more beginner-friendly compared to previous titles. Now that's something with that much. Now let's go and transition onto the gameplay. Since we are already transitioned to the gameplay, let's go ahead and discover what carried over and what is there as we discuss the mechanics, ladies and gentlemen. Euphoria shots, which I am really good at. I can carry in long combos with them. Okay, so basically Euphoria shots is where you find a girl's weak spot. You hit her weak spot, it's a one-hit takedown. It's a one-hitter. To have a girl love-struck, you have to pretty much stare at a girl in the eye until you see a heart meter. When that heart meter fills to the top, it will release an area effect attack that will pretty much weaken the girls in your vicinity. When you see the demons and you manage to pretty much find them out of the blue, or you pretty much shoot the demons off of the girl to keep her from being possessed and get her back to normal, well, she's still chasing you in the end. But however, the biggest thing you want to do when it comes to these little mini demons flying around here is to use this little giant gun known as the little demon sweeper or a demon vacuum or whatever. I forgot the name of it, but it's like a vacuum for demons. So you just hit that thing and you vacuum up the demons and you will get more points rather than just shooting at them. So you get more points if you vacuum on the demons. You want to zoom in towards a specific thing? Well, guess what? That is where the zoom feature comes in. It's like you get into a scope and you could pretty much figure out who's this girl trying to fire at you. If you want a more precise shot, that is where you can use that zoom feature to your advantage. Doki Doki mode, which actually happens, well, I would say rarely, but however, it is just part of a story event. So basically, you can do this with characters you pick in your route, so that can be something. So when you're in Doki Doki mode, everything is all centered around the girl, and you have to find specific weak spots, and when you shoot those specific weak spots, the demons will come out from left and right. So basically how that works is that you basically shoot her weak spot, get the demons off of that girl, vacuum all the demons down for more points, and then basically, if you are lucky, you can go for huge scores, and you can pretty much take off her clothes. I'm not kidding. When you're accessing the campaign menu, you have this little thing called Rendezvous. How that works is that you go ahead, you clear a side quest, and you get a phone number from a girl. Interesting. So, whoa. But wait, there's quests where you can get multiple phone numbers from multiple girls. Right. And when you get the phone number, you can go ahead and call that phone number and have the girl of your choice meet you somewhere. And that's where the Rendezvous kind of works as like a gallery mode thing. You get a close-up, a look at the girl of your choice. You get to basically play around with things, change your outfits, show off her animations, or if you hit that little mini angel companion, the mini Risu in the corner, you will get to know that character, because she has like a background story, so keep in mind on that. And yeah, it's like a gallery mode, that's how it works. And in Rendezvous mode, if you hit Fantasize, you can get into Doki Doki mode with that girl of your choice, with that girl who you rendezvoused with that girl you chose for Rendezvous mode. So, yeah, it is interesting. So you do get a Doki Doki mode when you hit Fantasize. Now, I have played both the PC version and the Nintendo Switch version, because I figured I want to get the Switch version to play on the go and then the PC version to play at home. Alright, so that kind of works. So, the PC version has the regular mode, while you do have the VR mode where you can play the entire game on VR. The whole entire thing on VR. As for the Nintendo Switch version, you do have a normal play, followed by motion control support, so you can use motion controls in this game. And the settings are where you can, when you're zoomed onto a girl, but you can set it to yes for all, where you can play the whole game using the motion controls. If you play on the PC version, alright, then you're going to have a blast with keyboard and mouse controls, because of the precision of the keyboard and mouse controls. Alright, interesting. But however, for people who play on VR, the VR DLC is meant to have the whole game entirely playable in VR, which is really great. However, it is a very great thing, while at the same time, the VR DLC needs some fixing. Like, say, for example, how it doesn't really matter if you hit off on the VR mode. The very minute you start up the game with the VR mode off, it just goes back to VR, and you have to go in and turn it off again if you want to play the rest without the VR. If you want to take a break from the VR, you want to play the rest, that kind of works. But however, the VR switch from on and off is a good thing to have. But however, it is at the start menu, which it would be nice if we could have it like through options or during gameplay. I don't know. It's just a suggestion. Also, another thing to know is about the subtitles. You're gonna have a hard time trying to look at the subtitles because some of the parts of the subtitles keeps going off your sight, going off your view. So it's like you're trying to squint around here, and you're not going to be able to read every single line because the subtitle lines keep cutting off partly, and you're not going to be able to read that other part. That needs to be fixed. I think what needs to happen here is that the subtitles need to be taken and moved further off away, so that way there shouldn't be any issues. Everybody can read every single subtitle from left to right, even on mirror, even what other people are seeing, what you're seeing when on mirror mode. That's something about that. As for the motion controls on the Switch, it is good. It is, I mean, if you want a more precise super thing, because using the analog stick to move your character's retinas, it may be you're not going to get the precision of keyboard and mouse, but however, if you want to catch girls faster and get more girls fast enough, that's where you could plop in the motion controls and be like, boom, boom, and then I'm going to be boom, boom, boom. So if you are a huge motion control nut, then you're going to be having a field day with the motion controls on Galgun 2, and you'll be taking them off with a breeze. As if you want to play them regularly on a controller without motion controls, it's going to be slow. Maybe you probably kind of need to fix the sensitivity, because the sensitivity is a little bit off. You're going to have to change you may have to end up going through the options and changing the sensitivity settings. Okay. So, the gameplay is going to be, well, let's just say heavily different. It does maintain the on-rails situation around here. But where Galgun 2 strays differently is that pretty much you have a full 360 view of it, either VR or out of the things. So when you move your character, he's going to stand still. It's not going to be a full-fledged first-person shooter where your character moves forward back. However, where those arrows or your WASD or the direction of your left analog stick, you just have them either crouching, leaning to the left, leaning to the right, or pretty much peeking up above, or kind of like trying to basically stretch his head upward and looking for a view. So that's going to be something around here. So you're kind of like in one spot until you're transitioned to the next scene. However, you're not going to get like a single screen, but you're going to have like a full 360 thing, so you have to watch everything around you all the time. So you have to be careful. Characters are coming right in front, girls are going to come in right in the back, the left, and the right, so keep an eye on that. And I think that's where Galgun 2 plays very differently compared to previous installments. Now, there are upgrades for your Cupid goggles and your little vacuum. Hell, you can even get an upgrade to your vacuum to where you can start sucking off the clothes off other girls. Interesting. Add in your fun, entertaining boss fights, and pretty much you got yourself a really fun game. That is Galgun 2. Very addicting. You're going to enjoy it. Okay, so Galgun 2. What do I think of the graphics? Well, the graphics, they have their improvements, say what you will. But however, I do want to bring up the elephant in the room, which is when it comes to Galgun 2's levels, they're essentially the same. And there's going to be a counter-argument that's going to come up saying, hey, Galgun 2 takes place in the same school as Double Peace and Galgun 1. And to that point, I do see where you're coming from. And yeah, but what about interior redesigns? Interior stuff. All these interior things. The interior redesigns. It just came in my mind. Interior redesigns. But, however, they happen very rarely. It's like a one-in-a-time thing. And the addition of new students, maybe we would see an addition of new students, but however, if I remember the lore, they're like a short period time after each other. So they don't. So it's not like Galgun 2 takes place 1 year later or a couple of years later. So anything in regards to new students or interior redesigns are less likely to happen. I'm not saying they don't happen at all. I mean, let's be realistic here. Let's go to the real world. The high school we go to, do we get interior redesigns often? Not really. There's just this one-time thing that does happen, so that does make a lot of sense. So a lot of the time, schools do end up remaining the same. It's a real-life thing, and really how the game applies a real-life logic, maybe it is better if it doesn't apply real-life logic and things are made different and, things happen. But, however, Galgun 2 has its improvements, the designs are good, the character designs still prevail. And, the sounds, the voice acting, they're so good. It didn't came into anything wrong. I never noticed anything wrong with it. I never had an issue with anything, so that's pretty good. Galgun 2 is pretty much a must-have in your game library. Actually, as a matter of fact, Galgun 2 is like a beginner tier game. So newcomers to the franchise could pretty much start with Galgun 2 because yes, it's entry level. It's sort of like a beginner mode because of how beginner friendly it is. So yeah, if you wanna touch on Galgun 2 before jumping into Double Peace or import and play Galgun 1, that is understandable. I don't blame you. All right. However, Galgun 2 is a really fun game. You're still gonna have a fun blast. It's ridiculous fun and glory. And it's not going to let you down to a point. It may let some people down, but not too much. It still prevails and it will still go strong. However, it is recommended that for Galgun 3, the developers tend to basically go either further after time passed or basically entirely cover on a new campus or a new either high school or college. That would be funny. A Galgun 2 not Galgun 2. A Galgun 3 taking place in college. Why not? Pretty good idea. But however, Galgun 2 is a very interesting game and worth your time. Anyway, that is all. I'll be looking forward to you in the next video.